Now, in sharp contrast to the 1-bedroom, 1-washroom unit types, we'll take a look at 2-bedroom, 2-washroom unit types, wherein when we look at the numbers, the opposite thing is occurring. Today's video, yet another edition of the weekly condo market update. Hello everyone, this is Sam from SaberiSixRealEstate and Remax Realtron Realty. As always, you can find my contact information in the description box with regards to my Gmail, my Instagram, and my office. Feel free to get in touch with me with any questions you may have with regards to any topics covered in this video or any topics covered in any other video, or if you have any general questions at all with regards to the Toronto/GTA real estate market. Lastly, as I always say, feel free to subscribe, comment, rate, and review. Your support in that regard is greatly appreciated, but as I always also say, you're not obliged to do so whatsoever. Feel free to just watch. So in today's video, first what we're gonna do is break down condo prices in the city of Toronto at large by bedroom number. 1-bedroom, 1-washroom prices, 2-bedroom, 2-washroom prices, and so on and so forth. Thereafter, for the second segment of this video, what I'm gonna do is discuss the latest trend of people returning to the downtown Toronto condos for work purposes and the lease market with regards to downtown Toronto and what trends we are seeing there. So let's start with condo prices, shall we? I thought it would be interesting to look, as I do occasionally, at condo prices by number of bedrooms and washroom in the month of July. Now, this is being recorded July 21st, and we only have 20 days of full sold data. So all these numbers will be accounting for the first 20 days of July. I'm also going to compare these numbers so you can see in terms of contrasting the first 20 days of June. Let's start with bachelors, which is 0 bedroom, or how the term bachelor is ubiquitously used to refer to a property, a condominium that has 0 bedrooms. In terms of the average sold price so far in July, we are looking at $439,000. And in terms of median, we're looking at $443,000. Now, just to clarify one more time, all these numbers we're going to go through is only for the city of Toronto. We're not accounting for anything north of Steeles, anything in Mississauga, anything in Durham. So it's really Toronto, East Toronto, West Toronto, Central, North York, Midtown, Downtown. When we look at the first 20 days of June, we actually see the average price has fallen $21,000. In June, for the same period, the average sold price was $460,000. And for the median, we were looking at $458,000. So yet another drop in that regard as well. So this is the classic case with bachelor. When we see a dip in the condo market in terms of prices and interest from the buying side, bachelors, the smallest units, the tiniest units are always the ones that are hit the hardest. That's why they're such risky investments. And typically, obviously, depending on specific circumstances, but as a general advice, I suggest my clients to stay away from bachelors, especially for investment purposes, but even for end using purposes as well. However, as we will cover later in this video, interestingly enough, bachelors in terms of leases are not doing quite as bad. Moving on to 1-bedroom, 1-washroom units for the city of Toronto. In the first 20 days of July with regards to the Toronto condo market, the average price stands at $585,000. Much unlike bachelors, this is actually an increase from the $577 price point we saw in June. Most of this upward movement, in my mind, is being done with regards to Midtown and perhaps with regards to Toronto West and Toronto East, because when we look at downtown numbers specifically, as I covered in previous videos, obviously, we see that the downtown numbers are actually lagging behind everywhere else. Now, as of recording of this video, I was looking at some other numbers. North York is lagging a bit. North York is becoming a little softer as well. But for the purposes of this video and in previous videos, I have established via numbers that downtown is actually lagging behind in terms of trends, in terms of the vibrance of the market as compared to Midtown, North York, and the rest of Toronto. Now, in sharp contrast to the 1-bedroom, 1-washroom unit types, we'll take a look at 2-bedroom, 2-washroom unit types, wherein when we look at the numbers, the opposite thing is occurring, much similar to the bachelors, wherein it's a dip in prices. That is to say, the average price for 2-bedroom, 2-washroom units in the city of Toronto with regards to the Toronto condo market in July of 2021 stands at $808,000 in terms of average, which is a substantial dip from the $822 price point we saw in the first 20 days of June. So right now, having the numbers in front of us, and obviously this is not as exhaustive as an analysis that I usually do. If you look back in the earlier editions of this video, of this series, I would break it down from 1 bedroom, then 1 bedroom, 1 washroom, then 1 bedroom, 2 washroom, then 1+1, 1 washroom, 1+1, 2 washroom. Discerning and discriminating far more specifically with regards to the types. Here we're only looking at 1 bedroom, 1 washroom, and 2 bedroom, 2 washroom, so this can account for 1 bedrooms that have a +1 and 1 bedrooms that don't. However, at a general level, what we have, the numbers show us that bachelors and 2 bedroom plus 2 washrooms have actually dipped in prices in terms of month over month in the first 20 days, but 1 bedroom and 1 washroom units have increased in price. This really does show us, in my opinion, and my opinion only, feel free to contrast my opinion with other opinions, that the condo market as stands right now is at healthy, moderate level. In other words put, when the lowest priced commodities and the highest priced commodities of a commodity type are having trouble selling in terms of maybe prices are dipping month over month. And once again, keep in mind, this is only month over month. We're not doing a year over year analysis. But when the lowest priced and the highest priced commodities have trouble in terms of inventory selling and have seen a dip in prices, but the average price commodities, where 1 bedroom units are right in the middle, right? They're not as expensive as 2 bedroom units on average, and they're not as cheap as bachelor units on average. Once again, it shows us a moderate yet slowly, steadily improving market for condominiums from the lows we saw in June, after the highs we experienced in April and the first 2 weeks of May, where the downtrend slowly started in the latter 2 weeks of May. Segueing into the latter portion on the other topic of this video, which is the lease market in downtown Toronto exclusively. As the worldwide event that, unfortunately I can't speak of on YouTube, as the worldwide event, it's slowly, steadily diminishing in terms of its severity, and things are opening up again. Hopefully that will continue. More people and more businesses and more offices are returning back to downtown Toronto, where a large base of people who occupy the demand of the downtown Toronto condo market for lease and purchase and sale now have to debate between staying where they currently are, which when the condo market took a nosedive, both in terms of lease and purchase and sale, earlier in the worldwide event, it was due to many people leaving the downtown core, whether they're renting or they sold their downtown condo because proximity to work was no longer an issue. They were working from home, and thus, as a result, they opted to go to the suburbs. Once again, whether that's living with parents, moving back with parents, whether that's buying in the suburbs or that's leasing in the suburbs for a much cheaper price but larger, spacious options. Now, those people, once again, have to debate if they want to face the commute that is inevitable for them to return back to the offices, or instead return to the downtown core with regards to leasing or buying, because proximity to work will once again become a major factor in making up their mind. Because proximity to work will once again become a major fact. And as I said earlier in the video, in terms of studios or bachelors, people colloquially use as interchangeable, people are now actually going towards those options for leases. According to the latest Urban Nation report on the downtown rental market, and my own numbers as well, those units, the smallest, tiniest units of the available inventory, saw the sharpest decline when this whole thing started. But now, in terms of leases, they're the ones that are actually increasing the most, the fastest, in terms of what is being leased in the second quarter of 2021 with regards to the downtown Toronto condo market. But the same thing is not reflected in the purchase and sale side, where right now, once again, only exclusively speaking on leases. Anyways, this is Sam from SaberiSixRealEstate and Remax Realtron Realty. As always, feel free to comment your questions or get in touch with me with regards to my contact information in the description box. Feel free to go find me on Instagram. You have my Gmail and my office information in the description box for you. Lastly, feel free to subscribe, comment, and review. Your support in that regard is always greatly appreciated. Thank you very much for watching. Stay safe and stay tuned.